Mistake with the Alpha Chapter 79. Samantha's point of view. My parents were not happy about me insisting on staying at the pack house to continue my job. They tried to talk me out of this, especially my mother. Samantha, you can't do this to me, she wept. I have never seen my mother cry so hard, but then I thought of what Sally and Cleo told me. I just wish it's worth the pain I'm taking my parents through, especially my mother. I got to know about what they went through when I was in a coma.
It was so painful that I myself wept.
I wish there was another way we could solve all these issues. After much persuasion, I prevailed. They let me return to the pack house, but after I promised I would stay away from Jalen and his mate. Even if they didn't tell me to promise, I have promised myself. It's not as if it's been easy for me staying at the pack house because people won't stop mocking me. They thought I was greedy for Jalen's attention. I turned deaf ears to all, but then I missed Jalen so much. I didn't hesitate to avoid anything that pertains to Allison. I even begged the head cook to make sure not to call my name as often. To my surprise, she was quite nice to me. I never noticed that Jalen didn't come to the pack house for days now until two of the maids that work for Allison said so. They said she's been depressed about it. As usual, they blamed me for everything. I begin to regret that I allowed Sally and Jalen's mother to convince me into staying. I would have been recuperating from the pains now, but then staying in the pack house didn't seem like any healing for me. Well, Jalen's mother and Sally tried their best to check on me. There are times Jalen's mother would bring me gifts. I've told her not to, but then she's the type that doesn't listen. It was now that I know she's fun to be with. There is a big event tomorrow that everyone in the pack house got so busy. Sally told us that even we that are in the kitchen will join the attending maids because this person coming requires such. I didn't know who was coming until I asked Sally when I went to visit her after work. It was then I got to know that it's the Lichen Prince, and he seems to be Jalen's rival. That night when I got back to my room, I suddenly began to feel tired. I didn't count it as anything since I'm just getting better from that big hit from Allison. I laid down and slept, but then in the morning, I still felt tired. I didn't tell anyone that I just came from the hospital not too long ago. I didn't want to disturb anyone, and today we have a very important visitor. After we were done at the kitchen, we all went to put on our ceremonial uniforms and did everything Sally told us to do. Seeing Jalen come with that Lichen Prince gladdens my heart. It was now I got to realize that I've been longing to see him.
He's so handsome in his regalia.
I looked at the Lichen Prince, and I felt even with all his expensive clothes, he is not as handsome as my Jalen. I scolded myself immediately for saying, my Jalen. Jalen is definitely not mine. At first I thought Jalen wasn't seeing me, but then he looked at my direction, and our eyes met. I quickly looked down to avoid him. My eyes were satisfied with him just giving me a glance. I know I'm stupid, but then I love this man deeply. Things were fine until the earth, as usual, decided to fill my day with pain. I started to feel nauseated. I swallowed so as to send it back, but then I'm not a lucky one. It didn't leave. I felt like crying. Crystal, what is happening to us? I asked her. I don't know.
It seems like you want to vomit, she replied.
Yes, I want to, I shouted at her. What I'm asking is why. Well, I don't know. Shouldn't a wolf know what is happening to the body? I said. I was striving hard not to vomit. I can't dare vomit where royalties are dining. I'm going to get punished. Neither could I excuse myself. Why should this happen this time of the day? I felt like crying. I didn't stop nagging Crystal, who seemed confused too. Sam? I heard an unfamiliar voice. I looked up to notice that it was the Lichen Prince that called me. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do, and why he called me. Just then I noticed everyone's attention was on me. What an unlucky me, I said in my head. I didn't know what made him notice me, but now I was sweating profusely. I didn't know what to do other than to just look. Jalen was also looking at me, so I looked away quickly. What's wrong with you? The Lichen Prince asked. I didn't know how he got to see me. It's not as if I'm right in front of him. In fact, I've made sure to place myself where I can be hidden, but the bad luck that is following me made it so that all these will happen to me. Not wanting to say anything to avoid more trouble, I shook my head. Little did I know that that would make him more angry. Young lady, you talk to me whenever I talk to you, he said firmly. I nodded again. I was super scared that I'm shivering right now. Even a headache has joined my predicament. I said, "Speak." The lichen prince said, with authority. Just as I wanted to try my luck to speak, the vomit I've been trying to suppress came out. "I'm so dead," I screamed in my head. I quickly removed my cap and covered the vomit so as not to make them see it. I was so ashamed of myself. "I'm so sorry," she said, shaking. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to stay up to date with new videos uploaded. Also check out our next video in the series.